Now let's start off with a few interview questions. Okay, so what is the difference between drill down and drill through? Can someone tell me the difference between these two? What is your understanding? The last session we discussed about the drill down extensively, and also we discussed about drill through also, right? So how many of you remember? Can someone unmute yourself? Probably allow you to talk. So go ahead and talk. Okay, so there is no right or wrong answer. Okay, it's not that if you tell wrong answer you will not get offer letter. Okay, but still we are yet to complete the DAX is one of the important topics in Power BI. But these are the questions you can expect as part of the interview. They'll ask you what is the difference between drill down and drill through. Any business intelligence, it's not very specific to Power BI. You take most of the data visualization tools. These facilities or these features are available. Drill down and drill through. So what is a drill down? So using drill down, we can get into the, or we can view the lowest levels of the data to get more details if you want it. For example, if I go here and if I click on this is a matrix. Not only one matrix, even for the column chart, all right? So for those kind of visuals also, you can, the drill down will get activated. And if you have more than one dimension, if you have it in your visual, so in the case of matrix, you have three fields: the rows field and columns field and values field. Since I have two columns here, Power BI considered these two columns, right? For these two columns as a hierarchy. Okay. So now what we are saying is, for example, if I click on this is a drill app. This gives me the summary value. For example, if you wanted to view it, you want to maximize it and view it better, you can go to focus mode. Okay, so you can see it's kind of a zoom in, zoom out. Okay, the focus mode. So here we can see that, right? These are the categories, 5 different categories, and each category, how much money has been spent by customers, right? Each customer, right? In total, this gives. And if you wanted to see, for example, Hemal, he purchased 31 quantity, not Hemal, the Chris. Okay, Chris has purchased 45 quantity and his sales amount is this one. If you wanted to view the lowest level of the data, if you click on this one, right? So expand all down. What makes up the 45? So look here. So this is Chris, and he did not buy anything in beverages, and only this guy, John, he purchased something. And if you look at here, 45, right? So 27 plus 12 plus 6, 39, 45. Similarly, right? The total is displayed along with the category. Okay, so these are the products that are available that we sold it as part of each category, right? So if you want to see the granular detail, then you need to do drill down. Okay, if you want to see the summary, I don't want to see the detailed data. I just want to get a quick insight at an high level. Okay, or the gist of how much sales I made, how many quantities we sold across categories, right? So just click on the drill app. So drill down, using drill down, within a single visual, we can visualize the data at the highest level, and also we can, if you want to view the data at the lowest level, so we click on the drill down option, right? Drill up, drill down. Okay. So what is the prerequisite to create to get a drill down? So how do you create what is the prerequisite for this? You need to have more than one dimension in your field. Okay, if it is a matrix visual and the rows field, you need to have more than one column. Okay, if you have more than one column, it will create a hierarchy automatically. So next one is, what is a drill through? What is a drill through? We have created the drill through in the last session. I just go to the detail page. They'll ask you all these questions. Look here, category and location name. I created drill through, and if I go to the executive summary, this page, so this is my category, right? If when you right click on it, you need to select any one of the category and right click on it. You will find this option enabled. If you have created a detail page wherein you have mentioned just beneath the drill through as your category column, so you can get the detailed information. Okay, when you click on this, look here, this is what you drill through. So drill through reports allows the user to explore another aspect of the data. So it helps them to navigate from one report to another report within a report, right? So from this page to this page, if you want to view the data in detail. So the whole idea here is drill through. You cannot have the summary as well as the detailed data in a single report. So the first report, it is something like you have some kind of summary data, and if you want to see the detailed one, right click on it. So already I have enabled drill through. If I click on this, it will take me here. So look here, so here category in beverages, I selected beverages category, and then when I right clicked, I got the drill through option. When I move the cursor, look here, so here when I hover the cursor, I was, look here, in the beverages I selected, and then when I hover the cursor, I could see the page which I created wherein the drill through, right, the detailed report can be found, right? So when I click on this, it goes to this page for the beverages, under beverages what products we sold, and in city wise how much we sold, column wise total, row wise total, everything is available here. And also I have another column, I just dragged and dropped location name just beneath the drill through. And if you want to, let's say if I go to the executive summary, and if I want to find out, let's say if I so in this visual I have used location, right? So here we don't have location, hence in the drill through we cannot see that. So when I right click on Hyderabad or any city, drill through is available for this one. But this one, right, so in that page the Hyderabad city will be passed to the second page as an argument. Look here, the location name is Hyderabad, because I selected Hyderabad and right clicked on drill through, and then when I clicked on the detail page, it took me here. So what it shows is in Hyderabad, in all the category, how much we sold, right? Sorry, product wise, right? It shows the drill down, right? If you want to drill up, you can click on it. Category wise, at a high level, right? In each category, how much we sold in Hyderabad alone. So this is what the drill down and drill through. You understood what is drill through now. So using drill down option, once the icon is enabled, right, especially when you use more than one dimension, the drill down feature will be automatically included in your visual. And then you can do drill up if you want to see the summary data, or if you want to view the detailed data, you click on the at the lowest level of data, or you can click on at the lowest level of next level of the data, you can choose it. Okay, and the drill through is to navigate from one report page to another report page. You can use it. So that is the difference between these two, drill down and drill through. They'll ask you these questions. The next one is what is a slicer? Can someone tell me quickly what is a slicer? You can type it in the chat window. Okay, it need not to be the words need not to be, or sentences need not to be grammatic thing. Okay, you don't have to use proper grammar and all. End of the day, what is your understanding regarding slicer? Why slicer is needed? Why slicer is needed? Slicer is essentially an alternative way of filtering your visuals in your canvas. Look here, when I come here, when I go here, you will find the slicer here. Yes, Abhijit. Basically, we are filtering the data across all the visuals in your single report page. So this is my slicer. I created a category, and I have another slicer called product name. I have another slicer. This is for price and date, right? So these are the things are available. when I make a selection in my category, all the other visuals in this report canvas gets filtered specific to the beverage. Beverage is related data, it is displaying across all these visuals. If you look at here, in Pune and Bangalore, Delhi, only these three cities we made sales under the beverages category. Hyderabad, there is no sales. Okay, the slicer is helpful to apply a filter to all your visuals. So now you tell me, what is the difference between slicer and filter? What is the difference between slicer and filter? Yeah, so Aruna, type of visual used to, yeah, slicer is also a visual. It is used to sort and filter. Okay, you can say sort also. And what is the difference between slicer and filter? We have explored filter also, right? The slicer is used to filter the visuals. That's it, right? It provides an easier and more convenient way to the end user. Instead of sharing a static report, if you include slicer, it will enable the report user to view the data or report in different dimensions at a different granular level. They can see it. The advantage of slicer is very user friendly. We can, with slicer we can allow the users to choose whatever they want to be displayed on the visuals. Okay, and the slicers are canvas visual filters. See, this is my report canvas. This is my report canvas. The slicer is the canvas visual filter, and the next one is the filter. Filter is something like we have seen it here, right? I just show you here. So we have a filter pane, and you can apply, for example, if I select this visual level filter and page level filter and filters on all pages. Okay, these are the three types of filters that are possible, but here you need to manually come and select or apply the filter. For example, when I selected this visual, you can apply the filter to a specific visual alone, whereas in the case of slicer, can I apply a filter on a specific visual? Is it possible to apply a filter on a specific visual? That is not possible, right? For example, if I select beverages and filter only this visual, it is not possible. All the visuals related to beverages will get filtered. Okay, you just, but whereas when you, for example, when I select this one and when I use the filters pane, I can select whatever the category that I needed or whatever the filter that I want to apply it to this specific visual. That is possible. If I select this one and okay, here I just unselect this one, and if I select this now, yeah, you have basic filtering, advanced filtering, and top N. So what is top N? If you want to see the top 3, top 2, top 10 categories or products, you can use it here, top 10. So the advantage of filters are, you can, it helps you to find out the top N values if you want it, or if you want to see the bottom N values also possible. That's what we have seen it. And basic filtering, advanced filtering. Basic filtering is simple one. Advanced filtering is like you can use logical or and or. Okay, category contains dairy category and dry fruits. So in that case, it will filter. It will display on the filter only dairy and dry fruits. Rest of them it will ignore it. So advanced filtering, you can use Boolean condition like and or. Basic filtering is a very simple one, and top N, using which you can find out top 3 products, top 10 products, whatever you need it, we can do it. So there are 4 types of filters. In the interview they'll ask you. I just write it one more time here. There are 4 types of filter. right? So 4 types of filter. The one is the visual level filter. The second one is page level, and third one is all pages, and the fourth one is drill through. So you know what is drill through, right? To jump from one report to another report, or jump from one page to another page, it is possible with this fan. Okay, so that is the difference between slicer and filter. With filter you can do advanced level filtering, but it is not very user friendly. Supposing you are a report user, they are not much familiar with the filtering or Power BI desktop. They have a minimal work experience, minimal knowledge in Power BI desktop. They may not be knowing this one, right? So that is one. Just give me a second. So that is so remember this. They'll ask you what are the types of filters are available in Power BI. So filters, you need to say visual filter, page level filter, all pages, drill through, and we have something else called automatic filter. What do you mean by automatic filter? Look here, I just select this visual and let me check if I cleared all the filters. Okay, this is still there, right? I just select basic filtering. Okay, I'm not going to do anything now. Okay, nothing is there. Fine. Here, okay, I just minimize it. Look here, when I okay, so what is automatic filtering? So we have 4 visuals here. Okay, we have this one also visuals, right? So when I select any specific values in this visual, other visuals also getting filtered based on the selection which I made. Look here, the dry fruits, I selected it here. This one got highlighted, rest of them became dim. And in the other visuals also, only dry fruits related. Look here, so here dry fruits, and only dry fruits is visible, and here also only dry fruits got highlighted. And this one here, it shows in all the cities, how much we sold, how many units we sold in dry fruits. Okay, so this is what your the automatic filtering. Okay, so when you select anything, it does the automatic filtering. And also this one, the slicer, even if you select I just so when I select any specific item here, beverages or dairy, it does the cross filtering. That is called your cross filtering. So what is cascading? We discussed about cascading. Cascading is cascading, or applying the filter from one slicer to other slices. Slicer to slicer filtering is your cascading, and cross filtering is when you select any specific values in your slicer, all the other visual will get filtered. That is what your cross filtering. And this is what your cross highlighting. For example, if I select this specific value, when I select this specific column dairy, automatically the dairy related dairy related category gets highlighted in all the other visuals. Look here, the dairy got highlighted here, right? Dairy related data only filtered. And in dairy, how much we sold across the cities, it shows here. So this is what called as cross highlighting. When it comes to cross highlighting, if you select any of the items or any columns randomly in your visual, that specific items will get highlighted. In this case, this one I clicked on it, so this one got highlighted, and also the values that are relevant to this category got filtered across all the visuals. But if you notice it very closely here, it display in the case of bar chart, displays both the selected value and non-selected value also. In the case of cross highlighting, look here. So the highlighted one are relevant to dairy. The non-highlighted ones are not related to dairy. So non-relevant to the category, we can see that here. And here also, right, since we have used column chart, we are not able to make out here. And if you see here, in the case of matrix, it display only the relevant category. When it comes to bar chart or column chart, in the case of cross highlighting, it displays both the relevant as well as the non-relevant items, or it highlights the relevant items and dims the non-relevant items. Okay, so it depends on the user requirement. Now the question is, when is it helpful, the cross highlighting? When it is cross filtering is helpful. There are some requirements, or like, so in a single report, can I see which item I sold? Let's say, is there any feature that is available? If I select a specific category, all the other visuals should get highlighted for that specific category, and rest of the category it should not highlighted, so that I can get to know, okay, so in this category, in dairy, if you see here, the quantity, if you see that sales value here, it shows 10,000, but if you see in terms of quantity, it is not showing much, right? So beverages, something here, what is this? Cost price, okay, quantity and cost price, it shows this one. If you want to see the quantity and cost price, it shows here. But other products also, if I want to see the quantity and cost price, I can see that here, right? So here, but sometimes it might be confusing to some user. The requirements vary from user to user. This is a classic example. This is some users, this request you, hey, display when I select any specific item, that only that item should get displayed, and also the non-selected item should also get displayed, but it should be made dim. Okay, so fine. So in that kind of situation, this is very much helpful. But in the case of matrix, there is an exception. It is showing only this highlighted items. It is not showing the non-highlighted item here. You need to remember this. That is the difference between the column chart, bar chart, and the matrix. If you select, in the case of cross highlighting, it filters only the cross highlighted item in your matrix, whereas in the case of bar and column chart, it not only it highlights the relevant products or categories across all the bar chart or column chart. Along with that, it displays the items that we did not select. Okay. So there are some cases the user raised some concept. Some users, it is confusing. If I select dairy, it should show only dairy related. Why it shows all the other thing? So in that case, cross filtering is very much. This is called your cross filtering. The slide. For example, if I select dairy, it will show only dairy in all the visuals, dairy related thing. Look here. Here only I can see dairy, and here I can see dairy, and here I can see dairy. But here the dairy related sales across all the region, or the how many number of units we sold across all the cities, for all the cities, right? So that's what we can see it here. So cross filtering, it shows only the relevant items. It simply exclude all the other items. Okay, all the other items. It shows only the selected items. In the case of cross highlighting, it shows it highlights the selected items across the visuals. Along with that, it display the non-selected items, but it get dimmed. Okay, but there is an exception to matrix. In the case of matrix, it exclude all the non-relevant items. This is what called as cross filtering and cross highlighting. So cross filtering, when you use a slicer, you can do cross filtering, and you can use filter also to do a cross filtering. Page level filter, you can use it to do the page level filtering, right? Cross filtering, that is possible. Cross highlighting is a special feature. Okay. The next one is, so far we discussed about slicer, and slicer also we discussed about different types of slicers. And now the question is, there is something that's called sync slicer. What is the difference between slicer and sync slicer? Right. So now you all aware what is a slicer is all about. So slicer is to filter the visuals in simple term. So it enables or it provides an easier and more convenient way to the end user to filter the visuals. But there are some cases. There might be multiple pages like this, right? You have execution detail assigned, multiple pages will be there, multiple reports will be there in a single report. So this is my single report file. What is my file name? exdemo underscore slicer. This single report file. Within the single report file, multiple report pages are there. Multiple pages are there. So in those kind of situations, some cases what will happen? All those pages or selected pages, you want the same slicer to be created. Okay, you need to have a common slicer, like a category across all the pages or a selective pages. For example, you want to have the same category slicer to be made available in assignment page, duplicate of slicer, page 2, page 3 also. Okay, or if you want to have the same category slices across all the things, so you can have a common slicer. Instead of duplicating or copying and pasting multiple pages, you can have a common slicer across all the pages. That is called your sync slicer. Sync slicer. What is sync slicer? So creating a common slicer. Okay, so for for the selected pages or all the pages. Okay, so now let us take a look at how we can create a sync slicer. So this is my so the advantage of the sync slicer is, okay, if I select beverages in this page, in this slicer, if I select beverages, all the visuals in this report will get filtered with beverages category. And the same thing should be, the same filtering should be, applied or across all the pages or the selected pages. Okay, I'll just show you with an example. Let me just copy, right click, copy visual, and then go to detail page, right click on it, or paste it, control V. You can drag it. So once you paste it, you can drag it wherever. See, when I copy pasted it here, it is asking me an option. Okay, one or more of the copies can stay in sync with the visual it was copied from. Do you want to keep them in sync? If I say don't sync, what will happen is diary. Okay, if I go to executive summary, the previous page, for example, if I select diary, all the visuals gets filtered for the dairy product, right? So dairy, and here also dairy, and here also dairy, and in all these cities we sold dairy related products. The same filtering should get applied to the other pages also. But in this case, what happened? The dairy was not selected. The first page, whatever I selected, the same should get selected automatically across them. So look here, the dark background and the white color tick mark, that means that is the item that I selected in the slicer. But here it is not synced up. Okay, so so in that case, because when I copy pasted here, it was asking me for you want to sync or you don't want to sync. You want to sync with the previous page. Since I have selected don't sync, in this page the filter was not applied. For example, if I select explicitly the dairy, only then it is getting filtered. I don't want, if I have 15 pages and each and every page if I go and select it, right, it is not good. So if I want to select any specific item in the executive summary, the same filter should get applied across all the pages or the selective pages, right? So it is, how is it possible? Is it possible to do it? Yes, that is where we have something called sync slicer. If you want to have a common slicer, right, instead of creating the same slicer in each and every page, we can create in a single page, main page, and reuse the same slicer and sync the slicer across the desired pages. Okay, so here what I am going to do is, I just we have an option, go to view and look here, we have sync slicer. You just select it. The moment when I clicked on sync slicer, see, I repeat it in the ribbon, view ribbon, under the view ribbon you can find sync slicer. When you click on it, what will happen is, sorry, here let me just select this slicer and I am going to unselect it here. Right, so here we have some, look here, duplicate of slicer. Let me just page 6, look here, where is detail? Detail, in the detail page we have a slicer. Look here, we have a slicer. In the detail page we have a slicer. Yeah, detail page, one second, where is executive summary? Page 6, page 2, page 3, slicer demo, page 1. Let me just see. Yeah, so many pages are, that's why. So in the executive summary we have a slicer, right? So we are talking about the executive summary slicer. So this is my slicer, right? So better you can select this one and then sync slicer. Look here in the executive summary, right, this one got enabled because I selected this slicer. So this one gets synced by default. And what is this eye icon? So you sync up this slicer, so that's the default behavior, and IS, and also display the visual here. For example, in the detail page, detail page, look here in the detail page it is not syncing up. If I enable this one, in the detail page also we have slicer. Okay, in the detail page also we have a slicer. Okay, the same slicer. So whatever the item that I selected in the executive summary in the category slicer, if I enable sync slicer, it will get synced up with this page. So not this one, sorry. I have to go here, one second, I'll just show you. Look here, I just select beverages and dairy in the executive summary. So it shows me the one second, the beverages and dairy related. It filters it beverages and dairy not only in this page, even in the next page also the same filter gets applied automatically. Look here, dairy and beverage got applied automatically. Okay, but we have selected Hyderabad also. Since we have selected Hyderabad, what happens? It is in Hyderabad, there are no beverages here, hence it is not showing anything. Okay. If you want to test it, I'll just remove this one here. In the drill through page, I remove it, and this one now it will show the beverages and dairy related products across the locations. Look here. In simple term, you create a slicer in a single page, and then you can you can make there is a common slicer, and make it to appear or sync up whatever the value is selected, the same values, the filter should sync up to other pages also automatically. That is where the sync slicer is very much helpful. You need to select sync slicer. Look here, but the challenge here is now I don't want the same slicer to be visible across all the pages. See, if it does the filtering automatically based on the item that I selected in the executive summary page, the filter should get applied automatically. Here I know I don't want to this one to be displayed here. So in that case, what you do is you just unselect this one. It will not be visible here. It will be hidden. Okay, it will be hidden. Okay, so that is how you can create sync slicer. So likewise, you can create it for more than one pages also. So here we will test it out one more time. Look here, beverages, dry fruits, and these three categories I selected it. And if I go to the detail page, one second. I just select only dry fruits, okay, and if you see this one, the executive summary, sync up the value, because this is the main page, and display the slicer here. The detail page, you sync up the same filter, but don't display the thing here, okay, sync slicer. And if you want to have the same thing in page 6, right, sync up the same slicer, don't copy paste it there manually. Okay, so now let us go and test it. See now what item that I select, dry fruits, and in page 6 I just mentioned sync up the same filter there, and also display the slicer there. See, this why I did was, right, so in page 6 we did not manually copy paste the same slicer, category slicer. Okay, so now I just go and select it here. What item that I selected there, it is not showing anything. Sales amount by location. One second. Dry fruits I selected, and let me just go to the detail page, and page 6. In page 6 we don't have any drill through here. Okay, fine. Sales amount, when I select this, let's see what happens. Location name and sales amount. Okay, because I removed the location, right, so that's the reason. I just select category here. Category wise here, so somewhere some filtering is happening here. Let me just select here, check it out. So y to y confusion, let us remove this. See here, here another slicer is there, dry fruits, right? Yeah, so look here, the dry fruits got selected. Let me just remove this one because I have created some slicer panel. Okay, I just removed it, and sales amount by category, I just remove this. Let me create some donut chart. Donut chart, I'm going to select category, and then the sale amount. Okay, now if you see here, okay, everything is all the things are visible, right? So okay, all categories should not come here. I just go back here. Now my page 6 has this, because I removed that one, right, all the visuals. I create a new one. Ideally it should display that slicer also, since I had the slicer panel already. It was getting confused with that one. You don't worry about this slicer panel at this moment. First understand the basic now. Look here, when I selected this one and when I click on sync slicer, okay, sorry, one more time you need to click on it. Okay, if you click on it more than once, it will get displayed. Okay, so it will get it will be hidden, and if it's a toggle, okay, if you click on it once, it will display. If you click on it again, it will get hidden. Look here, page 6. This one got, I need to enable it here. So this slicer, whatever the item I selected, the same filter should get applied to page 6 as well as detail page and detail, but don't display in the detail page the same slicer, whereas in page 6 you display this slicer. This one I did not copy paste it. So now we are done with this. Okay, now I did with this, and if I go to page 6, look here, I have dairy, fruits and beverages. This category also got displayed here, right? Ideally we don't want to display it, the common slicer across the pages. This is just for testing purpose. So what is sync slicer? If somebody is asking you, what is a sync slicer? Creating a common slicer across the desired pages, okay? Look here, whatever the thing I applied it, the same thing, right? So if I want to disable it on the page 6, what should I do? Select this slicer and click on sync slicer once. Click on sync slicer. So now I selected 3 categories, and in page 6 don't display the thing, but only let me do one thing. I just unselect beverages, final testing, okay, or let me unselect. If you click on the eraser icon, all these things will get unselected. If I select dairy and dry fruits, it is very, very slow. Dry fruits. So not only in this page it filters the dry fruits, even in detail page also it should show dairy and dry fruits, and same dairy and dry fruits got filtered even in page 6. In page 6, since we have hidden it, right, in the sync slicer option, that slicer is not available, but here I did not copy pasted it. That is what you need to remember it. So now you understood the difference between slicer and sync slicer. Sync slicer, basically you are creating a common slicer across the desired pages. That's it. Okay, if you remember that much, that is more than sufficient. The next one is, the next question is, you can expect something like how to control the filtering in Power BI. This is a very interesting thing. How to control the filtering in Power BI. So what do you mean by control the filtering in Power BI? For example, as we have seen earlier, right? So let me just press some key. It became dim now. Since I'm using so many keys, some confusion happened. 1 second. I don't know which key that I used it. Oh my god. Some special key had displayed it, hence it caused all the confusions. Let me do one thing. Okay, I need to click on this one. Okay, good. Very simple one. Sometimes it will be confusing. Alright, so now you learned about the sync slicer. It's a pretty simple one. How to control the filtering in Power BI? There is an interview question. So we learned about slicer, we learned about sync slicer, we learned about the filtering. And is there any way if I can control the filters? Okay, filtering. For example, if I select dairy products, all the visuals get reflected with the data that are relevant to dairy and dairy fruits. And if, let's say, if I just I'm going to just clear all these filters in the slicer so that all category can display it here. And if I select dairy, cross highlighting, now cross highlighting happened. Since I selected dairy, I want to view only dairy. Since I clicked only on this column chart, the relevant values got highlighted in other visuals, especially in the bar chart or column charts and all. But whereas in the case of matrix, it displays only the product category related dairy. It excluded the non-relevant thing. Okay, so now the thing is, when I select any specific value in any one of the visual, it should not, there should not be any interaction. If I select this one, the corresponding value should not get highlighted. So this one should not get displayed. It should not get disturbed. It should display all the category. For example, if I select dairy, there is a requirement. If I select a dairy, and you can highlight the dairy related category in this visual, and non dairy related category, that's the default behavior. You make it dim, and here you exclude non relevant categories, display only the dairy related. But here what you do is you show me the quantity and sales amount for all the cities for all the categories, irrespective of the item that I selected here. Even if I select dairy or any one or dairy fruits, this one should not get disturbed. At any point in time, I wanted to see what is the total. Let me see here. Why? So I just remove the quantity now. It is confusing. So in Hyderabad, in each city, how much sales we made for all these, how many categories? Yeah, 5 categories. Okay. At any cost, this one should not get disturbed. Even if you select it in other visuals, any of the things, this one should not get disturbed. So there is a requirement like this. How is it possible? For example, if I click on it, all the other visuals also getting filtered, cross highlighted, right? So how do I restrict the interactions is there any way can I restrict the interaction between these two visual? That is where you have something called edit interaction. If you click on the view ribbon, in the view ribbon, sorry, one second, let me just, in the format, I think, in the format ribbon, you have something edit interaction. You just click on the edit interaction. The moment when I clicked on the edit interaction, you can see something like, and on top of each visual, you can see something like this, right? So this is called your filter icon is there. So this is none, and this is your filter icon, none, and you can see, by default, this one gets enabled, right? So what I did, I just selected edit. When I click on it one more time, that one gets one second. When I click on it once, it will get disappeared. When I click on it one more time, displays this one. For example, if I select this visual, this visual and all the other visual, we can see, forget about these visuals, okay, card visuals. So here all the other visuals we can see, on top of all the other visuals, right, you can see the cross filter. This is called your cross highlighting. This is nothing, no interaction. Okay, and here also you can see this. I just selected this visual and on top. So if I select this visual, so all the other visuals, on top of all the other visual, we can see these 3 icons commonly, except this one, right? So for matrix, there is no cross highlighting. That's what we have seen it. When you select any specific item, it excludes all the non-relevant item, displays only the items, right? So only the the selected item, right? So hence it shows only cross filter. But here you can see, 2 icons, right? Apart from this one, none. So what I do is I just select this one. I selected this and I'm going to select none, and I'm going to select this one now, and I'm going to click on none. So now this is called your none. When you hover the cursor here, this is called cross highlighting, this is called your cross filtering. The cross highlighting is the default one. Cross filtering, you can use slicer to do the filtering. Okay, now if I select this, so you can see this one, right? So this is no interaction. So now I made it no interaction. For example, when I select diary, what happens? So this remains constant. Here the diary got highlighted. If you want to do see it very clearly, the focus mode, you can use the focus mode. Sorry, here I just for example, if I select this one, this visual and this visual gets interacted, which means the diary category related items you can filter it in this visual and in this visual, not in this visual. I want to see at any cost in a separate visual like this all the categories put together what is the sales. So in this kind of situation, the edit interaction is very much helpful. Okay, and so this is called your edit interaction. Using edit interaction, you can control the filtering in Power BI. If you want to remove this one, simple, go to the format ribbon and click on edit interaction. That's all, it will get removed. See, one of the coolest feature in Power BI is automatic filtering. Okay, the default interaction is whenever I click on any specific item, only that specific items get highlighted, and the values which is related to this category also get highlighted across the visuals, right? But it is not applicable here, whereas here in this case what happens, it displays only the relevant category, rest of them it discards it. So now you understood the difference between cross highlighting and cross filtering, and also you understood how to change the interactions. When you select any value in any visual, automatically all the other visuals get filtered, but I don't want that to happen. For a specific visual, this one there should not be an interaction between these two visuals. But whereas if I select, for example, if I clear it, if I select, for example, frozen foods in this matrix visual, so now let us see what happens here. Okay, or let me do one thing, beverages. So here it is not, one second, let me just, oh, I removed the edit interactions, right? That's the problem. Okay, so you need to enable it. When you enable, let me do it. When you click on it once, you can see the icons gets appeared here. So now what happens if I select beverages? It is not showing anything. Let me do one thing. Or when I select beverages here, okay, here none, and when I select it here, sorry, interaction is none, and here there should be interaction, and this one should get cross filtered. Okay, cross filtered. And if I select frozen foods, Look here, apply this cross filtering here, but there should not be any interaction. Now you understood how I can enable cross filtering for a specific visual, how I can disable the all the interactions. Here there is no cross filtering, no cross highlighting, but whereas here cross filtering, cross highlighting is happening. So between these two visuals there is a cross highlighting, between these two visuals there is a cross filtering, and between these two visuals there are no interactions. Likewise you can change it, okay, based on the customer's requirement you can change it accordingly. Okay, so this is what the editor interaction, okay, using which we can control the interaction of the visuals in your report page. And next what we will do is we will jump into the another topic called cloud service. Okay, Power BI cloud service. So far we discussed about, one second, let me